Hey, what's up, everyone? Gabriel Santos. I'm going to switch around like this. Gabriel Santos from gfsantos.com. And I got a good one for you today, guys, and I think you'll actually enjoy the fuck out of this one. So, I don't know what the title of this video is going to be yet, but the topic has to do with giving a name, giving a name to the this following phenomenon, okay? So you know how as people who have a pretty ingrained relationship with marijuana, meaning it's at the point where you yourself are watching a video about marijuana addiction. And I have, the same way with me. I'm making a video on one, okay? So we obviously have a relationship to marijuana that is, has an addictive taste to it, right? At times. And this channel is all about helping and empowering people to no longer be identified with addicted and have power in their lives again. And part of my philosophy and what has worked for me in doing that for myself is to really accept that and know deep down that like I'm not addicted to anything. Like as a function of who I am as a person, I'm not addicted. That doesn't exist. But what does happen is, addictive like patterns or falling into a state of addiction. Okay, and so my point with this video is that as someone who is learning how to control their weed use, you and me included, um, we are creating a whole new world on what that looks like because currently the most popular messages for people who are addicted to weed is that you can't ever do it again and that it's bad for you. Or on the other side of things, you have people who love weed so much that you can never become addicted to it. And so there's like a place for people like you and me that doesn't really exist on a wide scale level yet. But that's why I'm here. That's why you're here. That's why I wrote my book, Marijuana Mindfulness, is to attract people who are looking for answers and who resonate with this kind of culture and this kind of group. All right. And so the purpose of this video is to create a name for the process that would originally be called relapse. Okay. Because I have done this now a handful of times in the last 3 months. And I don't think it's going to go away, but it's important that we name it so that we can understand it, dissect it, and use it in our language moving forward, okay? So, relapse, take the word away and just use descriptions. A relapse is defined when someone goes back to using a substance that they were once addicted to that they use in a negative way. Okay, and the word relapse infers failure. It infer I mean it the meaning behind relapse is one of failure. The tone that it has is failure and fuck up and did something wrong, did something you weren't supposed to do. Um, and so in the world of addiction, relapse is a very charged word, right? Now, in our world, the world of going from addictive, negative, abusive relationship to pot to positive and healthy and serving and powerful, we are at times going to use weed in old ways. Essentially, we're going to use weed that look and feel a lot like when we were addicted. Okay. And you can give what we're going to call this name for now is I can't define it for everyone, and I still want to play around with what name I'm gonna give it. But for me, it was definitely a it was for sure like a safety blanket coping way of using weed. You know what I'm saying? And so from for the rest of this video, for now at least, I'm gonna refer to it as like cope mode. Okay, cope mode. And what cope mode looks like is having to literally use weed every day for a certain amount of time to just fucking get a grip. Like, get a grip on your life, fucking find a place to be emotionally secure, and find a way to tap into a higher state of being through weed. Because for whatever reason, what we're going through in our lives right now is giving us some hardship. And at that time, that's when we run to weed. We run to weed for some help. We run to weed for some help. Like, help me, dog. My life isn't going the way I want it to. The emotions I'm feeling, I don't know how to get out of. Help! Right? Now, here's the thing. That's just a short-term solution. Right? It's a short-term solution. That's what it is. And the long-term solution, it must be discovered eventually, right? And so if you are someone who finds yourself going 1 week off weed, 2 weeks on, or maybe even you're going 8 months off and then 3 months on, my point being, you find yourself going back to weed as a way to deal with something, or even run away, or to just feel good, that's called cope mode. It's called cope mode because we're literally using weed to cope. We're using weed to feel good. The same way we use food to feel good. The same way we watch our favorite movie over and over and over to feel good. We're looking for some sense of security and some sense of feeling really good despite how bad I feel otherwise. Okay. Okay, and I'm not touching all the aspects of cope mode. My point is that from now until the time you die, there are going to be times, most likely, probabilistically, that you and I are both going to go and use weed in a way that we're not proud of. But it helps us. All right? And so use the word cope mode to help you understand that you're using weed right now because there's something that you're having a hard time dealing with. Whether it's boredom, or maybe you fucking deep down hate your job, but you're stuck in it. Or maybe you're just not fucking happy with yourself in your life, but you don't know what to do about it because you just don't know. And weed gives you a sense of just like fucking relief. And that's like the best you could do for yourself right now. No big deal. And what I must be crystal clear about is that part of cope mode is to get off of cope mode. Part of being aware that you're in cope mode is to know that, okay, like I'm just going through cope mode right now. And to know that I'm using weed to kind of just like put band-aids over my fucking scars or whatever I'm going through. But I ultimately know that there is a beginning and end to cope mode. Kind of like when, when someone is broken up with, the world expects that person to be depressed. And similarly, the world expects that person to one day not be depressed. And so for those first couple months, even up to a year, maybe multiple years, depending on the relationship, we tolerate the stuff that our friends and family do. Because we just understand, they're going through something. We even offer them things to feel good. Like, dude, you want to just go out for a drink? Dude, let's just go to a strip club. Dude, you want to just go like watch a movie, eat some candy? We literally offer coping actions to people who are not doing so well. Okay? And so what I'm offering you is that on the times when you find yourself having to run to weed in your old ways, is that you're coping with something. Coping. And that you must know that what you're coping from will never go away if you just continue to smoke weed. That's the key. Just like I know that whatever it is that I'm coping with, that I'm using weed to cope with, that I will never figure it out. Or rather, the beginning of me truly moving past it is to put the weed down and to deal with it face to face. For real, for real. And so the purpose of this is just to let you know that when you find yourself falling into weed habits that you feel aren't serving you, and you feel addicted, and you feel like you just have to run to weed all the time habitually, and you feel yourself letting go of responsibilities, you might even feel yourself slipping, just know that you're using weed in cope mode. You're not addicted, you're using weed in cope mode. You get what I'm saying? Something's not okay with you right now. Something's not good. And maybe before you are ready to face it, just like a person must be ready to let go and move on of their ex partner, you need some time to cope. You need some time to deal. And that eventually you know deep down that you need to get over it and move on. And so it's okay. You're allowed to cope in life. You're allowed to use weed to cope. Just know that what you're coping over will never be solved through smoking more weed. It won't. It won't. It must be faced. It must be faced. And that's the hard part. Holy fuck, let me tell you. That's the hard part. Facing it. Because you can... all those feelings you're looking to avoid are right on the other end of you saying no to your next joint. Hurts. Hurts. But then it stops hurting when you start really dealing with it. All right? And so I have full faith in you, just as I was able to do this. You'll find your own answers and you'll make your way. It might take a long ass time. It might not be pretty, but you'll find your way. If I was able to find my fucking way, you'll be able to find your fucking way. And I'm glad to be of service to you in that journey. All right. But until then, guys, that's it for this video. If you haven't already, take a look at my book, Marijuana Mindfulness, on Amazon.com. Just look at Marijuana Mindfulness by Gabriel Santos. I got my 3rd review just this month. And I want to let you guys know that the book seems to work. Okay, apparently for people who have read it. And yeah, go buy that shit. Let me know how it goes. And if it wasn't worth your money, let me know what I can do to improve the book. All right, guys. Anyways, I hope everyone's doing well. I'm doing well. All right. I look forward to connecting to you guys more consistently in the upcoming week, and keep moving forward. Peace.